From NPR News in Washington, I'm Windsor Johnston. The Kenyan Red Cross says at least 20 people have been killed and dozens injured in a shootout in a shopping mall in the capital, Nairobi. The BBC's Mike Wooldridge reports sporadic gunshots could still be heard 2 hours after masked gunmen stormed the mall.
Eyewitnesses report black-clad and masked gunmen with heavy rifles attacking what's one of the most upmarket and well-protected shopping malls in Kenya. Immediately there was panic as the gunmen fired at shoppers and store staff inside the 4-story mall and threw grenades. Armed police shouted to people to get out and then started going from shop to shop. Soon casualties were being brought out, some on stretchers, some on shopping trolleys. Though some eyewitnesses said they initially thought it was a robbery, it quickly became clear to many that it was much more likely to be a large-scale attack.
The BBC's Mike Wooldridge in Nairobi. A man dressed in the uniform of the Afghan National Security Forces has killed 3 members of the International Security Force in eastern Afghanistan. Terry Schultz has more.
Officials with the International Security Assistance Force, ISAF, confirmed 3 of its service members have been shot in eastern Afghanistan by a man wearing an Afghan uniform, another so-called green-on-blue attack. The incident is under investigation, and ISAF is not releasing the names or nationalities of those killed at this point. The number of international troops killed by their Afghan trainees or by Taliban infiltrators to the armed forces surged last year, but dropped significantly after both ISAF and Afghan leaders instituted stricter vetting and surveillance measures. There are about 87,000 coalition troops still in Afghanistan, fighting alongside the roughly 350,000 Afghan security forces as NATO-led operations draw down toward a complete end to the combat mission at the end of 2014. For NPR News, I'm Terry Schultz in Brussels.
As the threat of a government shutdown looms over Capitol Hill, NPR's Giles Snyder reports President Obama is taking his case to the public.
The president is repeating arguments he made in a speech in Missouri that House Republicans are holding government funding hostage by trying to deny funding to the health care law.
They'd actually plunge this country back into recession, all to deny the basic security of health care to millions of Americans.
Obama says he'll veto a House-passed stopgap spending measure that would keep the government running through mid-December. It came with the condition that funding to the health care law be cut off. For the GOP, Nevada Governor Brian Sandoval urged Congress to work together while praising Republican ideas.
Our founding fathers got it right. Free enterprise and limited government have made and will continue to make this country great.
Sandoval says that Nevada has not let politics stop efforts to grow the economy. Giles Snyder, NPR News, Washington.
In the aftermath of Colorado's flooding, officials are on the lookout for oil spills. 4 new spills were discovered yesterday. This is NPR. Taiwan and the Philippines are being slammed by a powerful typhoon. There have been landslides and power outages in the Philippines. Authorities in Hong Kong are warning the storm is posing a threat to the city. North Korea is postponing reunions of divided families. Hundreds of South Koreans have long been waiting to meet their long-lost relatives. From Seoul, Jason Struther has more.
The resumption of inter-Korean family reunions was seen as a step toward reconciliation, but Pyongyang says due to South Korea's conservative policies, separated families will have to wait indefinitely. The South Korean Red Cross says each year, thousands of people who are on the waiting list to meet lost loved ones die. These are Koreans who were separated when the peninsula was permanently divided during the Korean War 60 years ago. Earlier this week, the 2 Koreas reopened a joint factory complex in the north. The reunions were to take place this coming week. For NPR News, I'm Jason Struther in Seoul.
4 men charged with the cyber theft of $2.1 million from a London Barclays bank are due in court today. The men were arrested Friday and are accused of installing a device on the bank's computer system that made it possible to carry out the theft. Police say cash, jewels, and thousands of credit cards were found in related searches of addresses in the Greater London area. More than 50 people were killed and about 70 were wounded in a Shiite part of Baghdad after a suicide bomber driving a car packed with explosives attacked a funeral. Iraqi officials say women and children are among the victims. Today's assault follows attacks elsewhere in Iraq that killed 11 people. This is NPR News in Washington.